Well, I'm very excited for you to be here, Yusra.
Thank you.
so
I'm excited to be here too.
Thank you for taking the time.
Of course.
I had the pleasure of meeting you for the first time last June in Stockholm.
Yep.
Listening to a band we both didn't know at the Brilliant Minds Summit conference event.
Yeah, one of those.
One of those. I know that you do a lot of those things now. You attend, but you also speak publicly.
Yeah.
You share your amazing story and beyond. And you're on a plane.
More than home.
More than home.
More than home.
What's that like?
Not nice.
No?
I mean, obviously, it's really cool to explore the world, meet people. I mean, you just said we met like this year, which does not feel like it was this year. A lot has happened. But it's really cool to travel, to meet with entrepreneurs, talents, people that like have insane ambitions, and then on the other hand to meet whether that's like normal people or athletes. Yeah, I miss being home for sure, but I think like everyone's like always like, oh, your 20s are for trying everything and going everywhere, and I'm like embracing that in a way. But yeah, it's pretty tiring to be honest, and sometimes lonely because you have so many friends, but they're like all over the globe. So yeah, it's both positive and negative at the same time.
Around the world with your host, the Gstaad Guy. We welcome you back to the Gstaad Guy podcast, sharing stories of excellence with those in the know for those who just know.
I mean, you were sharing before we started rolling with the cameras, just a small glimpse into what all that craziness looks like. I'd like to paint a picture for the audience. You're taking a break from USC, the University of Southern California.
Yeah.
Where you've been on a full ride scholarship studying film.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Taking a break from that is also cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bragging rights there. You're doing public speaking. You're the youngest ever appointed Goodwill Ambassador for the UNHCR.
UNHCR.
UNHCR, I'm sorry.
It's difficult, I know.
It's a lot of letters.
It took me a few years.
There's a lot of I the first two letters are the ones I recognize most.
UN. It's just
UN. And you're doing lots to inspire people who come from lots of struggle, and maybe people even who don't, and are inspired by all the amazing work you're doing now and all the amazing work you have done. So you're doing a lot.
Yep.
What's your favorite part?
All of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's really cool to be able to understand that life is not black and white, right? I had to grow up at a young age, which gave me the ability to see things differently, see things in a creative way, I guess, where I started doing public speaking because of my story, because of becoming a refugee and having to escape war. And slowly I realized that telling my story has so much power. And that power is not about business. It's about the human touch. It's about touching humanity and being able to, I know it's a big word to say, but it's like changing the world for the better. It's my main goal with everything that I do. So yeah, it started with storytelling, which is the main thing in my life. I love storytelling. I love being able to be close to anyone, basically. Like I can be sitting in a room telling my story in Davos, and I can be sitting in a refugee camp telling my story. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah, I really do love public speaking, and I love being an advocate for refugees all around the world. To be completely honest, my favorite part, and will always be my favorite part, is swimming.
Yeah.
Like always. Yeah, I grew up swimming in Syria since I was 3 years old, and I basically retired, which is crazy to say because I'm 27. But yeah, I think it's the most fun I've ever had in my life, and it's obviously difficult. You learn from it, you grow from it, so I'll always be an athlete. Yeah.
You've retired from swimming professionally.
Yeah.
But you still swim.
So weird to say that.
It's crazy.
It's so weird.
It's crazy.
Because like the way I describe how athletes or competitive athletes leave sports is like, even if it was their choice, it's not their choice. For me, I would have loved to swim until the end of time, but I wanted to study and I wanted to focus on the swimmers world tour, the movie. And it wasn't possible for me to swim on a level where like I can compete at the world championships and Olympics. And you know when it's time to leave, but it's like when you love, it's like a marriage where you love the husband so much, but you have to break up for some reason. You know, that's how I explain.
On good terms.
It's a loving relationship,
exactly.
But like you cannot go back. Just
Fine.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. The first time I met you, I told you how touched I was by the story that was told on your behalf, Swimmers, the movie, and how emotional that movie made me.
Yes.
It's such an incredible movie.
Thank you.
And based on the follow-up research and online scrolling I went through after the movie, which I think
everyone does that. It's so funny.
Does that. They watch the
movie. Like, where's the real one? Where is she?
Exactly. And then meeting in real life, I see there's a big part of you and your story they haven't told.
Yeah.
And lots they did very well, of course, as well. I don't feel like I'm in the position knowledge-wise to share the story on your behalf, although I'd love to, for the sake of the podcast. For those who may have not watched the film, I'll pause now and say, pause this podcast and go watch the film. That's one. Let's say you still haven't. How may I best share that story with the audience?
To sum up my story a little quick, I was born in Damascus, Syria. Both my parents were also born in Damascus, Syria. I grew up there. And when I turned 13, the war started. And I had to escape from my home. And then I was a refugee inside of Syria before outside of Syria. Growing up, I went to school and I loved swimming. Not in the beginning, though. It was not love at first sight for sure. But my dad was my coach, which made it basically a must to become swimmer, which now I love. I have an older sister that's also in the movie. She's 3 years older than me. I have a younger sister. She's 9 years younger than me. So she's the baby of the family and the smartest, in my opinion. We had a very normal life up until the war. When the war started, I think the second year already of it, we lost our home. And we didn't know that for sure. But the area that I lived in was called Daraya. It was one of the most affected areas from a very early stage. It was like on the suburbs of Damascus, the capital of Syria. So we tried to live in Syria for a few years. And it was really difficult because you would go to school, there would be bombings in the school. Like I had moments where I was like literally hiding under my desk. I had moments where I was swimming. That was in the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but when the missile hit in the pool, that was a real thing.
You kept swimming.
Basically, they were shouting that I get out, and the teenager in me, I was like just walking, which was really bad. But yeah, that happened for real, and a lot of things has happened. It got more expensive. It got more difficult. I left swimming for a whole year when I was like 14, and that year like showed me how much I love swimming, and that it wasn't for my dad. That was actually swimming. After a year of like retiring at 14, I saw my team win a medal at like the Asian Games, and I was crying. I was like telling my mom, I deserve to be there. I want to be there. Like I'm nowhere near my dream. So that was a period in my life where I was a teenager who had dreams, hopes, ambitions, but because of what was happening in my country, I felt like I will never reach them. Like I'm like waking up every day, putting in the work, but will I ever get there? So I go back to swimming, and not even a year later, me and my older sister, we had a conversation. We shared a room, and we had a conversation. We're like, we should leave. And then we asked my parents, and they said no. We asked them again, they said no. Like we asked them multiple times because obviously it's a very dangerous journey, refugeeing from Syria to Germany. We knew that we wanted to go to Germany because it was one of the safest places basically to refuge to, and the door was open. Like Germany was still welcoming refugees at that point. So that point was 2015. A few weeks later, my dad gives up and he's like, if you find someone that can go with you, that I can trust, you can go. So we find his cousin and his other cousin's son. That was the same age as me. We used to hang out every weekend. And he goes, okay, we're doing this. And then in 1 week, we say goodbye to everyone we know. We say goodbye to everything we know. So basically, we start this journey. And we basically, you don't have a plan. It's mostly on your gut feeling. The whole journey.
How old were you?
17.
17.
Yeah. And my sister was 20. So, and then my cousin, my dad's cousin was 25, and then the younger one was my age. So the journey starts with the plane from Damascus to Beirut to Istanbul. And then from Istanbul, my dad's cousin starts, also my dad's friend was with us as well. So they start talking to smugglers, because that's the only way. So basically we find a smuggler. The smuggler helps you basically go on a boat, on a dinghy, which is mostly overcrowded, which is mostly very dangerous because these boats are used multiple times. So you meet the smuggler at one point in Istanbul, and then he takes you with a bus. And if you watch the movie, you probably remember that like we got in the bus, all the curtains were closed. You have no GPS. He tells you no bathroom. You don't go anywhere until we reach that point. And that point was like 5 hours. In a bus, you don't know where you're going. So after that, you go on the island that you don't know what that is. But it's basically the closest island in Turkey to the closest island in Greece. That was Lesvos. We then get to the island. The smuggler tells you, oh, this is your boat. And then you go to the island, you realize there are thousands of refugees waiting. Like there are so many people waiting. We stayed on the island for 3 days. When you're on the island, you don't have access to a bathroom. You don't have access to food. You don't have access to anything. You're sleeping on the floor, basically. We were very lucky. We met like 30 people. And these 30 people, somehow we just became all friends. And then the men started like staying awake all around women. And women, we slept in the middle. And like we shifted all the time. And then whoever had like a biscuit, that we would all share it. It was really, yes, it was one of the most heartbreaking experiences in my life, but it was also one of the best experiences in my life. Basically, after that, you get on the boat. Usually it's a 45-minute trip. And for us, it was 3 hours and a half because the boat was ripped before we got on it. After these 3 hours and a half, you arrive on Lesvos. You go from Greece to Macedonia, Serbia to Hungary, Vienna, and then Germany. The whole journey took 25 days.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, I'm just...
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So at age 17, you made it to Germany.
Yeah.
I assume making it to Germany is not this... Okay, now all the problems are solved by any means.
No.
It's a whole different thing. There's a lot of relief from what I'm understanding from you to finally make it there after that journey. Yeah. But once you made it to Germany, where were you arriving to?
When you get to Germany, basically you don't decide which city you go to. Like when you are arriving, the police like tells you where to go. So we arrived to Berlin. And we actually did not want to live in Berlin. We wanted to go to Hanover because we had a friend there. And we were basically forced to stay in Berlin because they decided we should stay in Berlin. And I think that was really cool. Like, I love Berlin now. It's like my second home. So yeah, you arrive there and they take you to a refugee camp. We stayed in a tent inside of the refugee camp because it was very overcrowded. And yeah, from there you start. It's a very weird period because like you have grief because you just left home. You have hope because you're gonna go back home. That's what you're thinking. And then you have fear of the unknown, of like, what am I doing now? Like, what's the next step? Do I learn German? Like, am I staying long enough to learn German? Can I swim? What do I do now? So that period, you can't do anything basically because you're waiting for paperwork. And paperwork in Germany at that time was it was really complicated because like sometimes you had to wake up at like 1 a.m. and stay in line at 1 a.m. until 8 a.m. to enter that day to the place where you do all the paperwork. It was insane. And it's not like because of organization, but because like the day that we entered Germany, my sister and I, 12,000 other refugees entered. So it was a lot, like the number was massive. The first like few months were very weird because like whenever someone talked to me and they were like, oh, are you learning German? I'd be like, no, I'm going home. So I didn't like, it couldn't register in my mind that this is home. And I was complaining because it was very cold. So I wasn't used to like European cold and like clouds and stuff. But yeah, like very quickly after my sister and I, like we met this Egyptian translator and I was like, yeah, I'm a swimmer. Like I just went to the World Championships when I was like in 2012 in Turkey. I like swum international and national competitions and stuff. He was like, is this for real? Because a lot of people tell me they're athletes and they're not. I'm like, I promise you, test me out. So he was so kind. The next day we went to this swimming pool. It's called Wasserfreundspandau, like the club. Very German. So basically we go there and that's where I met my coach. He's like, yeah, we're going to test you out, see if you can swim here. Go change. And we're like, oh, we don't have swimming suits. We just like refuged here. Like we don't have anything. And Sven was someone and still is someone that's very curious, that even if he's like shocked to the core, he would be very calm and be like, of course, like I'm going to go get you suits. And they made us feel like we're home, even though like they don't know who we are or nothing. So we do the swimming test. And then after that, like he was really surprised in a good way by the level, by like the technique and everything. And after that, he's like, where do you live now? And I was like, refugee camp. And then he was like, if you want to really train, because he asked me, what's your dream? I was like, I want to go to the Olympics. He did not even question that, not even once. I think he was so impressed that I couldn't even think of it at that time. Like it was a lot of trauma, a lot of fear, but I was so sure of that dream that like I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna reach it no matter what's happening in my life. Like I was working out at the refugee camp and my sister was like, what are you doing? I was like, working out. And she's like, why? I was like, I don't know. Like something told me that it's gonna happen. So yeah, Sven and the club at the time, like after maybe only a month of staying in the refugee camp, they allow us to live in the clubhouse of the swimming club, basically. So they had a house, and it's funny because there are scenes of the swimmers that are filmed in the actual room I lived in.
Wow.
Literally.
In the movie.
Do you remember when I talked to my cousin and I give him headphones?
Yes.
And if you remember, that was in the room that I lived in.
Wow.
So they filmed in the actual location where we actually lived. We had bunk beds.
Wow.
Yeah, me and her. So yeah, that's how everything basically started.
You briefly mentioned earlier today that to you the word refugee,
yeah,
and the feeling of being a refugee was always a feeling you hoped to be temporary.
Yeah.
Because you had this hope of going home and the hope that the state was only, okay, this is for now, but this is not who I am early on. And then you shared that actually turned into something you quite quickly became proud of.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about that.
When I grew up in Syria, politics wasn't something that we would talk about. Like it's very well known. For me, it was like I had a tunnel vision for sports. I would literally watch with my dad everything, motorsports, tennis, everything. Like there's no match of like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer that we did not watch. But yeah, I never like really learned or had like the urgency to be like, oh, I need to learn about refugees and what happens to them, where do they go, how do they refuge, until I became one. So when I arrived to Germany, I was like, okay, yes, I'm a refugee, but like, it's not real. Why? Because there wasn't really a big role yet. there wasn't like representation. There wasn't like a big spotlight to say, oh, she is a refugee, right? So I didn't have to sit down and like deal with it. But the moment where like I was like, no, I don't want you to call me a refugee. I'm not a refugee. I'm going home, is connected to swimming. Because when I started actually training again, obviously my goal was the Olympics. And then I had a conversation with Sven that was very involved in our lives. And he still is in my life. He's a really, really good friend.
Sven is the swimming coach?
Sven is the coach, yeah. And Sven was like, hey, listen, I saw this interview of the president of the International Olympic Committee, and he's saying that the IOC, International Olympic Committee, is helping refugee athletes that are across the world to be able to train, like with scholarships. And I was like, yeah, okay. That's all I said. Like, I was not interested in hearing more. I just wanted to swim, right? So he applies, and I get the scholarship. What we did not know is that scholarship immediately put me on like the list of people who could go to the Olympics. Not even a year later of me arriving to Europe, which was 2016 Olympics, Rio. And the president again appears on TV. He's like, the UN and the International Olympic Committee feel and know that there should be a team formed by refugee athletes to send a message to humanity, because the number of refugees is, at that time, or displaced people around the world, was 65 million people. And then I'm like, cool. Like, okay. And then the president goes again and says there will be 10 athletes. One of them is a Syrian swimmer in Germany. I could you not? I'm like, excuse me, what? I did not even have an email at that point. I didn't. Like, I didn't feel connected to the world. I was like, I told you, like, tunnel vision.
17 years old.
Literally, I was like, no, you know. So basically, Sven comes to me and he says that, and he goes, I'm receiving a few messages on your behalf. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, more like 300 emails arrived today. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. So I did not get the sense of reality until a Chinese journalist came all the way from China to the swimming club to interview me and told them, yes, I talked to Yusra Mardini's team. I was like, what team? There was no team. I did not realize the mass of what just happened. The first ever refugee Olympic team is created. This can either change the world or end up in a very bad way. This was a very big risk.
Why did you see a negative and risk potential?
So this is how probably UN and IOC saw it. For me, I was just a child. So here's where the word refugee comes in. Then it becomes official. Yusra Mardini has qualified for, or has been selected to be one of the refugee athletes that goes to the Olympics. We were 10 athletes.
Wow.
My coach comes and tells me, and I'm like, nope. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not going. And then I talk to my family. I'm like, I'm not going. And then Sven, I've never seen him mad ever. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, he was very, very upset, like in a sad way. And then I was like, I'm not gonna go for people to feel sorry for me because of what happened to me. I've been training professionally since I was like 6 years old to become an Olympian, to be able to participate, to be able to, represent my country. I was like, I'm Syrian. I want to represent Syria. I'm not gonna be called a refugee in front of the whole entire world. And then it took me a few days. I talked to my parents. I talked to my sister. And I realized that it wasn't just my dream. I realized that my dad was my coach since I was 3 years old. I still remember seeing him like walking the lines with me, My mom coming to the pool and like sitting for 2 hours when I was a child, making my sandwich and then drying my hair. Like, it wasn't only my effort that brought me here. And then I realized, like, my sister, who's like my best friend, my biggest rival in swimming, everything cool I learned from her, I was like, they all reminded me of there are opportunities in life that you take and you decide what to do with it. So I took that, opportunity, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go. So I go to the Olympics. Obviously, it wasn't all positive, but the positivity around that team, I've never seen anything like that in the sports world. There was one article that said the Refugee Olympic team had more press conferences than Michael Phelps himself. And that was Michael Phelps' last Olympic Games.
Wow. And you were leading the team.
They called me the face of the Refugee Olympic team, and I was literally 18 years old.
Wow.
To paint a picture for you why the whole idea of being a refugee and representing changed for me. The moment I walked into the stadium at the opening ceremony, I just realized the whole stadium stand up. And they fixed the camera on like the most important people in the room, which is like the president, the UN commissioner. And I was like, and they stood, and I could see like literally tears in his eyes. Like he was so proud of the moment of creating the team. When I walked in, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then my Instagram account was private. I went to the Olympics, and like that's how much I was not interested in fame. I was not interested in anything but swimming. I started getting like requests, and I'm like, I opened them, and it's like from young girls, young refugees. They're like, we watched your race at the refugee camp. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, this is insane. So that was the moment where I was like, oh, hold on. You cannot be selfish. This is way bigger than you. This is way bigger than just being an athlete. Being an athlete, an Olympian is incredible. But I have a responsibility to give back. And I'm telling you this now. I knew what that meant, but I didn't know what that meant. I was too young to understand, but I knew deep in my heart that I'm going to change something. So at that point, I started like talking to the media. They were in love. And I'm not like gonna like sugarcoat it, but when there is a young girl who speaks English, knows about politics, pretty, is playful, she's not scared to say her mind. That was perfect for like the European media, for like the Western media. It was like, oh, she fits the box. Mm-hmm. And I realize that now, because I'm like, oh, it's so great that I took that advantage and that I used it in the most amazing way, in terms of like humanity and like helping refugees all around the world. So basically that's like where everything changed. Of like, I'm a refugee and I don't want to live here. Like, I just want to go home. I'm not. And then everything changed to, yes, I'm a refugee, and that doesn't change that I'm a swimmer. I'm Yusra. I'm the girl that like plays with her cousins and so on. Like, it doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change what I want to do in life. Yes, it's what happened to me. But what happens next, I decide. Oh.
This podcast is brought to you by Poubelle by the Gstaad Guy, bringing you charms hand-painted with enamel on 925 sterling silver, allowing you to express all the things you love and all the things you might question, from Riva bateaux to backgammon boards and caviar tins to paddle rackets. There is a Poubelle charm or completed set for everyone in the know. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the podcast.
I just want to go back to 18 years old.
Yeah.
So the day when you walked into
stadium.
The stadium at the Olympics, you were 18 years old.
18 years old. It was a blessing that I didn't realize how big this is. You know when you're like, ignorance is blessing? Yeah.
Why?
Was because I lived my whole life in Syria. I didn't know what media is. Like, of course, I did interviews when I was like, for like the competitions that I did in Syria, but it's
a whole different game.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it's good that I was a teenager, because you know the thoughts that you have when you're a teenager. Of course I can. Like, there's no question. So it was yes, it was like a very difficult timing because like I just left everything behind and started from zero again. But I'm also like, here, this is my dream. And the funny thing is, when I was 18 years old, after the Olympics, I got so many offers to make a movie about my life, and I said no. I rejected so many. And I still remember some of like Hollywood's best were not happy. They were like, no one's going to be interested in the story in like a year. 10 years later, we're here. Yeah, I was like, because like what happened next is that like at 19, I start working with UNHCR.
After the Olympics.
After the Olympics. So in 2017, I was appointed the youngest ever Goodwill Ambassador for UNHCR. Had no clue what that meant.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So basically, being a Goodwill Ambassador for UNHCR, you help them with the to raise funds. You are the bridge between people who go to Davos and refugees in the camps. So I was this link to these two worlds.
Because you can
of
speak
like
to both.
Wealth and power, and then yeah, exactly. I mean, not yet. Now I do, but at that point, I was just doing it as a job, and I understood the power of it because I would enter a room, and everyone would respect what I'm saying. And I think this is very special for a girl that was 19 years old to enter. And I think when I directly after the Olympic Games, I was invited to the United States by Obama to open the UN Refugee Summit.
Wow.
And still don't know what that means, or didn't know what that meant. And then was appointed the youngest Goodwill Ambassador. So after I get appointed, a year later, I write a book about the story, a biography. So yeah, I kept like going crazy after crazy.
So at age 19,
yep,
you're still swimming.
Yes.
You're still based in Germany.
Yes.
Your sister is with you in Germany?
Yeah. When I went to the Olympics, she went back to Lesvos as a volunteer to Greece.
Fine.
She started, yeah.
Is she still in Greece?
No?
Yeah.
No. She worked as a volunteer for a while in Greece, and unfortunately then she was arrested for her humanitarian work. And the case is not over yet, but she went back to Germany and still works in the advocacy field.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the family is full of rebels.
Yeah. So you're still in Germany. You're still swimming. What does this next phase of your life look like post-Olympics with this new involvement with the UN and speaking on behalf of the refugee team and refugees around the world?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. What wasn't easy for me, not doing the work or like getting to know refugees, what was hard for me is to understand like, who am I right now? Like, what am I doing? Like, I still love swimming, but sometimes I have to skip training to go to a press conference where I talk about like millions of refugees. Like, I wouldn't say it was an identity crisis, but it was like, is this what I want or what's happening? And to be completely honest, it was what was happening. Because I didn't understand what it is like to be a Goodwill Ambassador, what that meant, the weight of it. But working with UNHCR prepared me for so much in life. Because like I was complaining sometimes, like working with them and filming and doing this and filming the campaign for the winter, And then I understood that my message actually truly reaches so many people, and so many people donate because of one video I do. So then slowly I realized understanding like the difference it makes. Along the way, working with UNHCR and meeting people and building this like network of incredible talents and incredible fans and refugees all around the world, like made me understand, okay, this is not something that I have to do. This is something that I want to do. Yeah.
And what was it like on your personal development and teenage years or your early 20s to go from this tunnel vision you're talking about, like you in the pool, and then of course your loved ones, to rubbing shoulders with lots of people. I know you're a great people person.
Yeah.
And you told me. Yeah.
Now I am. When I was 18, I don't, I'm not gonna mention who, but I was in a room in a gala. I didn't even know what a gala meant. I didn't even care. I was that young. With one of the richest families in the world. Didn't care, didn't know who they are, walked out of the room, never questioned it. And I still am in touch with them now because of Sven. Sven would be someone that would connect on my behalf. And I have so many incredible contacts now because of him. But I did not even have a clue who's who. On the personal side, thank God for swimming. I think swimming saved me so many times. And what kept me sane is that even when I was in Davos, I would be telling the UN I need a pool because I need to train. So I swear, everywhere I went, there's so many hotel pools I trained in. You can understand all around the world.
It's beautiful.
From Tokyo to London to Switzerland. It was just so incredible to be able to live as an athlete and then as an advocate. And I still remember, even if I'm so busy, I have these 2 hours to myself training. So I think swimming was and will always be my therapy. It helps me a lot. Even until now, I train 6 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. It's, I think, a healthy and unhealthy relationship to sport. But when you do it all of your life, it's just you don't know how to move on. But you learn how to live with it in a different way. To stay healthy, to use it as therapy, to just say, hey, I'm at the gym, I'm not answering anything right now. So yeah, I think definitely swimming saved me from a lot of, craziness.
Yeah, because you're definitely exposed to a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
Especially now with your career.
Yeah. And to be completely honest, I had a great team.
And how much did the film producers involve you in the making of that movie?
A lot. It's very accurate. It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people ask me, why did you not act in the movie? And I'm like, first of all, I don't want to relive the experience. No. And then second of all, I was preparing for the Olympic Games during COVID.
Wow.
Which meant I was in isolation. 3 months I did not see my family before the Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah, even my roommate would stay in different, very far away from each other. It was very, human connection was, zero. You could not, be close to anyone at all because that would risk your whole Olympic participation. So they were filming during COVID. And I could not be on set, not even once. Only the last set that they did was after the Olympics, and it was in Berlin. And it was a swimming scene in the endless pool, the small pool that has a current. And I did these scenes. But I think it was an incredible, the making of the swimmers. The first meeting I ever had with a production company was in London. It's working title. We sat in a room and I had a meeting with them, and the person that I was talking to and I immediately had a great gut feeling about was Eric Fellner. I got out of that meeting with the contract signed from the first time. I was like, this is the production company that we're doing the movie with. And then during the production, they struggled with the budget because of COVID and all of that. That's where the movie was pitched to Netflix. And then the script landed with an Egyptian lady. Her dad was a migrant. She fought for the script to be taken by Netflix. Wow. It was taken by Netflix. And then it was released in 2022. Which is insane.
Insane.
Yeah. The mix of cultures, the mix of people that acted in the movie, the person that was playing my cousin is a very well-known Egyptian actor. The 2 girls that played me and my sister were real sisters, and they're Lebanese. The person that played my mom is Syrian. The person that played my dad is Palestinian. It was just an insane mix. The person that played my coach is German. Wow. It was just so, so cool. Yeah. So yeah, that was an incredible time. It was the exact time where I was another very brilliant idea on my side. I wanted to study film. So I immediately, the swimmer goes out, I apply for a scholarship from USC. And it was so fresh that at the time I still remember, like, it wasn't possible to have a full scholarship, and I was like, I'm not coming if it's not a full scholarship. And I got a full scholarship.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's how I started with film, like studying film, and then the fashion side. So yeah, it was a good plan.
It sounds like you're able to activate so many different parts of your interests and so many different parts of your identity into your work.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
You love fashion, you can work in fashion.
Yeah.
You love swimming. It's a big part of who you are.
The most important thing is to link it to good causes all the time. So what I do is, I'm sponsored by this watch brand. That's I'm their sustainability ambassador. So a part of like the work that we do is that they donate to my foundation. So we get to work together on really, really cool projects to help the environment or humanity, you know? And I think I'll always do that. Like, even if I have a company or, earlier I was telling you I would love to have my own brand, I would always have a percentage going to my humanitarian projects, for sure.
Can you tell us more about your foundation?
So my foundation is called the Yusra Mardini Foundation. We focus on helping refugees worldwide through education and sports. If someone asks me what makes you today, is the way my parents raised me. And my dad was always advocating for sports and my mom education. And I think both go hand in hand and made me who I am today. Of course, like life experience as well, but the core values I learned from my education and my sports. And I would like to give refugees all around the world the opportunity to dream and to learn and to be able to say, I want to become a doctor, even if they're still in the refugee camp, to have access. I think we have so much potential. We have so much power now with social media, with media in general, where the teacher can be in Canada and the refugees can be, in a refugee camp in Syria or Lebanon, where we are educating them. So I would love to, be able to help as many refugees as possible.
I am a man with a platform and a man who is very grateful and blessed with privilege to be sitting with you.
Thank you.
I'm aware of that. What do you wish someone like me could have done throughout the past few years to add any value possible to refugees and people who you wish could have stepped in and added value?
I think sometimes it's people, when they think about helping and they think about like advocacy or doing something, they think it's very complicated. They think it's very big. Like, how can I, like, only me? Sometimes the smallest act of kindness goes a long way. Educating yourself about the situation, the numbers, where can I help? Like, let's say you have a platform with incredible entrepreneurs, and you know that they have the power and wealth to be able to help. So what can you do? You have a connection to someone like me or someone that has a similar story or has their own foundation. So you become the link. So what do? Is like you bring these people together and then you brainstorm. How can we all sit down and do something great for humanity? It's very simple in our world where we have, you and I have incredible communities, incredible connections where we can say, okay, hey, I want to introduce you to this person, and this person works in, I don't know, a really big company. They have a budget for a humanitarian project. Sometimes is you just asking, hey, what's your next project? Can I be involved? Does it make sense for me to get involved? Or coming, like, bringing your own ideas to me, or to someone like me, or to UNHCR, or to a foundation you like. So yeah, there are resources, there are people that want to help. It's just do a little bit of researching and know that you can make a huge difference, for sure.
I'd love to explore that further.
I have a new collaboration soon that you can attend even.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're doing a big project. It's a winter campaign for Syria. It's with Creator HQ, Meta, and the Yusra Mardini Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah, where we give jackets, where we make sure that no one stays in a tent that cannot hold them during wintertime.
Wow. Beautiful initiative.
Yeah, thank you.
Of all the things you're doing today, your advocacy, your public speaking, your filmmaking, your studies, your swimming, your traveling, fashion, social media, all fitting into one thing.
Yeah.
What excites you the most? Could be all of it.
Yeah.
And is there anything you can share about what you're excited about in the near future?
Yeah, I think it's giving back and being able to do humanitarian missions. Like, I went to Syria twice this year, and I saw firsthand like everything that's happening. I saw kids that need my support and support of everyone basically in the world. The situation is not great, but for me it's always important to make sure everyone knows that my humanitarian work will always be the number one for me. Earlier it was swimming, but then I realized that it's beautiful to love sports, but it's not everything in the world. And giving access to refugees to do sports gives me way more joy than winning any gold medal in the world. So yeah, like sometimes I'll be sitting in a refugee camp talking to a young girl, and she'll come to me and she'll tell me her ambitions, her dreams, and how I should visit them again, and that they're gonna miss me. And I'm like, this is why I do what I do. It's because I want this girl to see me as an equal and to know that she can. Because, hey, look, Yusra Mardini was a refugee. She was in a refugee camp. She escaped the same way as me, and she made it. That means I can make it too. Even when people ask me about like my legacy, I'm like, if I can leave this world with one thing that they remember me with, is that they can help, is that they continue the work that I do. But yeah, all of it excites me a lot. But working with refugees and working and changing basically the world to the better excites me most.
If the listeners today have some level of exposure to someone who happens to be a refugee, their school, their town, the place they shop, their workplace, what's something that they can do today, as simple as or as grand as you may deem appropriate, but to add some level of value and positivity to that person?
One thing you can always do, refugee or not, be kind. Take them for who they are. Like, even if I'm a refugee, I don't like sit next to you and think of me being a refugee all the time. I'm Yusra, right? Like, I'm not gonna be like, hi, I'm a refugee. No. So do not put that label on them anyway. Like, take them as they are. Get to know them, give them an opportunity. I say that a lot, but I want to say it. We give opportunity to culture and food really easily, right? Like like right now, after I go back home, I'm like, gonna Chinese, Lebanese, do you want to eat Indian? And it's just so natural, right? And it's so easy. And I'm like, give a chance to people just like that. Not based on like who they are or where they come from. No. If you're kind to me, I'm kind to you. That's it. On a human level. And if they ask for help, I hope that you'll be able to help them. There were so many incredible people in Germany that would volunteer their time to hang out with new refugees that just arrived to Germany, to tell them, hey, this is how the train works. This is how the bus works. You want good books? Read children's book first, like in German. They would just give time to speak the language with the refugee.
It's true generosity.
Exactly. Just your time sometimes, your kindness. Ask them, what do they need help with? So yeah, literally just be kind and take them as they are, because when they're getting to know you, they're not thinking, oh, I'm a refugee, so they're going to walk away, you know? Yeah.
On this podcast, we always play a brief game.
Okay.
Of à la poubelle versus Fantastique.
I love it.
I know you're familiar with à la poubelle. We spoke about it in Stockholm.
Yes.
Are there a couple of things that you would throw à la poubelle?
Yeah.
In the world that surrounds you, and you'd like to change and just get rid of, and a couple of things that you'd like to acknowledge and celebrate and grow, and we call them Fantastique?
I would throw Like, I would say the box that people put you in is à la Poubelle for sure. Because why do we have to do this or that? I think life is beautiful. Change is beautiful. Realizing that, yes, I'm an Olympic swimmer, but I love fashion. And the next day I can be helping in a refugee camp. Why can't we do it all? That I would put definitely in trash.
I love
for
that.
Sure. Yeah. Because, like, you can be whoever you want to be.
Especially now with the tools we have. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. I can't have people around me that don't work out. They have to work.
Being active.
So I have a really good influence that even if people are not active, they become active because I'm like very...
It's contagious.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Movement is beautiful, and I'm not judging. I know that a lot of people don't have time for it, but like, if someone like willingly is not moving, I'm like, nope, thanks, goodbye.
Ciao.
Goodbye. Let's say like, okay, Fantastique, I think people getting more and more aware about, the humanitarian work and that they can help and supporting projects and small businesses. I really love that. That's definitely very Fantastique. My man being an athlete, Fantastique. Out of the box. Yeah.
Good.
These are my Poubelle and Fantastique.
I love them.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate you taking the time today to be here and share your story.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And again, for those who haven't watched the film, I highly urge you to. Also to check out...
You have to tell them what you exactly said when you met me the first time.
The first time I saw you, I came up to you and said, "Hi, Yusra.
Yeah.
Big fan. Last time I cried was because of you."
And I was like, wait, what? And then he was like, I watched the Swimmers. I was like, now I know.
Exactly. I watched the Swimmers.
That's very wholesome, though. I was like, okay, that's very honest. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the truth. Yeah. It's
very Fantastique.
Maybe cry is even an understatement. Last time I sobbed.
Even me and my sister watching were like, I was like, I know the story. Why am I crying? Yeah.
It's really powerful.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope we can have more of these amazing conversations soon.
Definitely. Next time on my podcast.
You have a podcast?
No, I want to have one.
You want to have a podcast? Oh, there you go.
One day. When I have more time.
The listeners and the viewers need to check out your foundation.
Yes, please.
Check out the movie. Follow you on Instagram. Stay up to date. Any other calls to action? Get in the pool. Start swimming.
Definitely. You better move.
There you go. Yeah. You better move.
Moving is a blessing.
Moving is a blessing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Yusra.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Gstaad Guy podcast. If you're keen to learn more, please follow along by engaging with our social channels on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Merci beaucoup, à la prochaine, and a big hug from the Gstaad Guy.